At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Ja.
And I am Anthony Sie, hosting here. This is, of course, your favorite program, The Hour of Politics. In today's edition, we have a guest who is comfortably seated. He is one of the prominent sons of Grand Gedeh County. His name is Anthony Gaye, and he has made a decision that he wants to announce through our medium here. And folks, you are also listening to us on the radio in Grand Gedeh County. We want to say welcome, Anthony Gaye. Welcome to the Hour of Politics. It's good to have you. How you doing? How's family?
Thank you very much. I'm doing awesomely well. Thank you so much to the family of Focus on Liberia. I'm now a stranger to this platform. I've been here so many times, and I'm happy to be here this afternoon.
It's always good to have you, Anthony. This time you are here in an entirely different capacity. You are an aspirant. But before I can get back to you, let me check with my man, Samuka Keita, on the radio there in Grand Gedeh County. Mr. Keita, how you doing there?
I'm okay and doing great here. How are you too? It's just that you need to do little adjustment with the voice of Anthony Gaye. His voice is not coming too clear from my end.
All right, we will make adjustment, and it's good that you are loud and clear. We will improve that. So let's get to it here, Anthony. How you doing? How's family? How is the madam? The ones who are standing with you with this decision, how are they doing? Are they ready for this? Are you ready for this? How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Look, this is a dream come true. When my wife finally gave the verdict and said, yes, baby, you can do this thing, I was so thrilled. I was so excited. I couldn't wait, to announce to the public that I want to do this thing because this is something long coming. It's like a dream come true. I wish, I was started as a city mayor of Grand Gedeh County. Instead, I'm going as a senator because the city mayor position currently in Liberia is not an elected position, and I do not want to be an appointed, official of Liberia. So I chose this path to go as a senator.
Thank you. Let me check with my man Samuka. Is it better now? Is he loud and clear in Grand Gedeh?
Yeah, much better now.
All right. All right, we will try to get it to 90% because the people of Grand Gedeh must hear from this brother of theirs, this son, of Grand Gedeh, as he, explains himself why he wants to be senator for Grand Cru County. With that, I mean not Grand Cru, but Grand Gedeh. Sorry, I'm trying to take you to my.
You want to take me back to your county, yeah?
Yes, the southeast is southeast. Let's get to it. Anthony gave first question for you. This is the one that people think is small but big. Who is Anthony W. Gaye? Talk to us.
Thank you. Anthony W. Gaye is a son of Grand Gedeh County. I was born in Yekepa, Nima County, where my father worked for Yekepa Company as a nuclear operator. I was taken to Grand Gedeh County for the very first time in 1986. I visited the county and were brought to Grand Gedeh family at 1988 when my father took the early retirement and we went to Grand Gedeh County. I attended a government elementary school called JC Body, uniform color, black and white. It's still the color today. I'm proud of that school because I left a mark at that school. Went to the Ivory Coast, became a refugee during the 1990 war, and grew up there, went to elementary and high school, graduated there, and transitioned into the United States since 2003. I am a father, I am a husband, I am a son, I'm an uncle, and I am a citizen in Liberia, citizen of Liberia, currently still a citizen of Liberia. I continue to maintain my Liberian citizenship because I have this ambition. I also a family man and also an employer. I have a background in telecommunication, and I work in that field for 18 years today. Current position, I work as a project coordinator for the IT company.
All right. Thank you. That's it there for Anthony. And let me check with my man Samunka. I hope it's better. And talk to us, tell us a little bit about the media institution you work for the sake of my listening audience. What is the name of that media institution there in Grand Gedeh County? Quickly.
Okay, the media institution is Smart FM Community Radio. We broadcast on the dot 98.6. And this is the oldest media institution in Grand Gedeh County. And we've been serving our people for the past 10 to 15 years now. So Smart FM Community Radio has been monitored all across Grand Gedeh County.
All right. Does it only cover on the Grand Gedeh, or does it extend to my Grand Crew and Maryland and Riverview and other counties? Talk to me.
It extends as far as some part of Sano County, some part of Riverview, in fact, and also some part of Nimba.
All right. That is good enough. That is the man Samuka Keita there in Ohenan business at FM 98.6 Smile in Grand Gedeh County. Anthony, we're back with you here. Let's get the questions going. So, what is your relationship with the people of Grand Gedeh County? You see, Anthony, I'm asking this question because if the people don't know you, if you don't have a better representation with them, I mean, how can they consider you to be their eyes, their ears in the house of politics? So, what is your relationship with the people?
Very fantastic. I'm not just a Grand Gedeh city in America. I have been involved with the Grand Gedeh Association, the largest association out of our county here in the diaspora. I served as a national financial secretary for a year under the Maye Towel administration. At that convention, after my presentation of the financial report, I was nominated as a election commissioner, and I accepted the nomination, and we proceeded to the election, and I won the election. And I conducted the last election that brought the current president, Honorable James Ubate, into office, currently serving for Grand Gedeh Association in America. So I've been involved. I haven't just been a Grand Gedeh here. I'm also a member of the Kunabo Statutory District, where I hail from, in the United States as well. I also am the member of the Grand Gedeh Association PA chapter, also a member, and also the Kunabo Statutory District chapter here in the United States. So I've been involved. That's the United States part. As per Liberia, I've been involved since forever so long, but officially since 2009, I've been investing in Grand Gedeh County and continue to invest in Grand Gedeh County in so many different aspects. And so my presence in Grand Gedeh County has been everywhere. Many may not know because I don't brag about it, but yes, if people want to know, we can let them know today on this air. We are not shy about those things. So yeah, I have not been away from my people. I've always been involved. I was just at the event at where one of the representatives who was contesting for Kunabo Statutory District was in Philadelphia area racing fund, and I went there to give my contribution as well, because guess what? If one of the representatives wins, I will have to work with them. Though I did not endorse, and I do not plan to endorse any of the representative candidates, but once I'm in it vicinity and anyone that raising money or doing anything, I will show my support, because this is an opportunity for our county. It's not about me, it's about the county. The county is bigger than me, and I hope people understand that this county deserves better.
Thank you. Let's talk about your political alignment, party affiliation, if you like, and how long have you been in politics?
I've been in politics a very long time. As a young boy, I still remember at age 9. I used to sit right next to my dad when BBC Focus on Africa comes on 3 p.m. And 5 p.m. local Liberian time. And those days, when people hear news, they run away. But I was sitting next to my dad and listening to VOA, listening to BBC. And when I went to the Africa Coast, started listening to Radio France International. It's called RFI. I began, getting to get interested into news. My first participation in politics, did not vote, but campaigned vigorously for President Lawrence Gbagbo. campaign canvas, share T-shirts, placards everywhere. I still remember as a young kid in Jiglo, the Western region, and I was, putting on placards. That's how I started this part of the thing. And came to the United States. I also campaigned for President Obama, put down flyer. Even though I did not vote, I was not qualified to vote because I'm not a citizen. And I canvassed, vigorously for President Obama as well. So my political career did back since, I started listening to radio with my dad at age 9.
All right, thank you. Let me check with my man Asma FM, Samunkai. Do you have a question for aspirant Anthony W. Gaye?
Yes, I just want to ask Anthony W. Gaye, how familiar is he with his people back home, and when last he visited Grand Gedeh County that he wants to represent through the Senate?
Excellent question. Mr. Gaye, did you hear the question?
Oh, yeah. I'm very familiar with my county, very familiar with the 3, electoral district and the 8 administrative district of Grand Gedeh County. A matter of fact, I have, a footprint now, a foot soldiers have been planted across the county in various districts across the 8 administrative districts and also the electoral district. So I'm not strange to Grand Gedeh County. The last time I was in Grand Gedeh, very briefly, it was a sad time for my family. We were bereaved. We lost my dear sister, who was well known in the county, Zaire. May her soul rest in peace. But I briefly spent a night in Grand Gedeh because I went to pick up something very quickly, and I came back to Monrovia. We had the burial in Monrovia, so I did not patrol the town because I went there, under the bereaved circumstances. I was a hustler. I still am a hustler. I dug go in Double Bridge. If you know Double Bridge, in 1996, 97, I used to be down there. Deacon Go hustling. 2000, I also went back there, dog go and hustle, and came back. So I know Grand Gedeh County. I know the culture. I know the farming tradition. I play, their traditional saxophone, or something we call bop, right? If you're a crown man, you know what bop is. I play those things. I know how to tap palm wine and can soul papo, set trap. So I am not strange to anything any farmer is doing right now in Grand Gedeh County. Better still, I can say I can brag about it. Many of the young people right there in Grand Gedeh County, I can do some of these things that they don't know how to do. Some of them can tap palm wine, make palm oil, all the different things. These are things that I've done when I was in Grand Gedeh County. So I have not lost touch of those things. And I've been investing in Grand Gedeh County since 2009 up to present, and I can tell you anybody for a fact, our footprint is there. We are not saying this because we want to run for office now. We are saying it because we care about people.
Thank you. And you said the last time you were there, what was it?
2019.
What year was it?
I was briefly there, 2019.
2019.
But I spent most of my time in Monrovia. I came there because of my sister abrupt, demise. So.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Gaye, there's a reason one runs for office.
Sure.
So may I ask, why are you running to be senator? And why must the people of Grand Gedeh choose you?
That's a beautiful question. Why? The question is, and the answer is simple. The lack thereof of leadership. Liberia's problem across the nation. It's not because we don't have the natural resources. It's not because we don't have the educated people. It's not because we don't have what it takes to move a nation. But what we are lacking today, Anthony, you will agree with me, in your county, in my county, in the rest of the country, this is not just limited to Grand Gedeh County. It's across the nation. The lack thereof of leadership. We are lacking leadership. Because I can tell you for a fact, let me take another step further. The sun that shines in Ivory Coast, or the rain that falls in Ivory Coast, it's the same rain that falls in Liberia. We have the same climate type. We have the same forest type. But Ivory Coast is by far ahead of in terms of agriculture, development, education, and so forth and so forth. Why is it? Africa gained her independence in 1960, August 7. Liberia gained her independence 1847, July 26. Why is this disparity? The lack thereof of leadership. And I'm into this to bring the clear leadership to our county, to restore the dignity of Grand Gedeh County, to restore the integrity and give our people the opportunity. There's no opportunity for our people. No job, no quality education, no quality healthcare facility, no recreational center for our people. Young people are just roaming the streets. Look, for each year, the University of Liberia, by estimate, puts out at least, or across, not just the University of Liberia, but across the nation, all of the higher institutions put out up to 15,000 graduates each year. All of those graduates are done in the street and have no job, no opportunity, no hope. Why is that? We have natural resources. An estimated of up to 46% of the rainforest in West Africa, Liberia possesses that. Why is it our country? Let's take, for example, Grand Gedeh County specifically. Grand Gedeh County and the Kunawa Statutory District where I'm from possess the larger deposit of gold. Most of the people that are mining today in Grand Gedeh County are in Kunawa Statutory District. Are our people benefiting from the gold mining area? Absolutely not. There were me as an individual, as innovative and solution-driven as I am, deserve to be given the opportunity to lead our people so we can create the environment, the enabling environment for investors to be brought in. Because I'm not going to use my salary to do all of these things.
Thank you.
But we need to create the atmosphere for investors to come in to create jobs for our people and other opportunities, not just jobs.
Thank you. Mr. Gaye, I asked you earlier about party affiliation. I think you missed that part of the question because it was in two parts. So
Okay.
I'll bring that back. What political party are you affiliated with, if any? And are you to run on that party's ticket, or you're going to go independent like others will do?
Well, yes, my political party is not hidden. I'm a proud member of ANC and also executive member of ANC as well. I can say this for a fact. But here is the thing. ANC is in a collaboration with other political parties. There may be or there may not be any emerging candidate. At this point, it's Friends of Anthony Gaye movement that is running right now in Grand Gedeh County. When we reach to the point where we have to select a party and go, obviously, if there is nobody running on the ANC ticket, we will definitely make that decision as to how we proceed. But because of the collaboration of the ANC, we cannot just automatically assume that we will be the selected candidate. If there should be any,
so Mr. Gaye, let me hold you there, Mr. Gaye. The CPP that you are part of as ANC,
yes,
more like divided the slots, based on your agreement. In any case, you should know now whether the Grand Gedeh Senatorial seat is one that is, allotted to your party. Do you not know it yet?
So the previous agreement had that. This new current agreement, because I've been campaigning, not campaigning, but I've been, negotiating.
It is the current agreement that has the slots allotted.
I have not looked at this current one, and I will look at that, and when I have the opportunity to. But if the slot is not,
Mr. Gaye, what does that say about you paying attention to your candidacy? Because you are part of the party in a collaboration. There's a framework agreement signed. All right, filed with the National Election Commission that allows slots based on counties and parties, and you don't know yet.
I want to be very honest with you. With this new arrangement, I have not, paid key attention to that because I've been very laser focused on my candidacy. Because guess what? I'm from the diaspora. I have a lot of work to be done compared to the people who been living in the county. Okay. So my footprint, election is all about winning. I have to do things that would get me over the hump. Yeah. So those things, I can get those things anytime I want and make that decision.
All right. And finally, Mr. Gaye, you answered my question there. In the unlikely situation where maybe the slot is not for the ANC, or there's a primary and you are not lucky enough, do you go independent?
So here's what I'm gonna do. Because there is an agreement: if you participate in the primary and you do not win, you don't go as independent.
Okay.
So I will make the necessary decision whether to go to the primary or not to go to the primary. But here's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not going to put myself in situations that are going to bring embarrassment to me, my family, and the rest of the other people who believe in me. I will make the rightful decision when the time is necessary to do so. But until then, it's Friends of Anthony Gaye movement that is going on currently in Gedeh County. That movement has picked up and people are gravitating to that movement. We are attracting a lot of young people from age 18 to 35. They are gravitating towards us. I mean, we are reaching all groups, but the vast majority of our movement are between that age group. And those are the people we're attracting.
Thank you. And earlier during this interview, you said, you wish you had or were considered for city mayor.
Yes.
Of Zwedru. And so, but now you said, well, maybe that is not possible or whatever the reason is. My question is, why now have you chosen to serve the people of Grand Gedeh at the Senate to help Grand Gedeh or to contribute to your country, your county, instead of, say, a representative or, say, a city mayor? Why the Senate? Is that the place is that the only place you can solve problems for your county?
Thank you very much for that question. It's a very brilliant question, Mr. Asonese. You are paying attention. Yes, the reason why is simple. Whatever is happening in my district, Kuno Statutory District, it's the same thing happening in Boston District. It's the same thing happening in Chien District, which is the host of our capital city, Zwedru. I believe in helping the entire county. My influence should have impact with the entire county. Being a representative, however, will limit me and focus me on just the district for which I represent. Being a senator will give me that holistic voice to address the entire county, because many of what I'm going to propose, it's not just going to be limited to Grand Gedeh County. It's going to be national legislation that will benefit every county in Liberia. Why? Because being a senator, even though you represent the people of Grand Gedeh, but you're not just limited to Grand Gedeh County. You're also a senator of Liberia. One of the reasons why I chose to get into this race is that we lack leadership. Since I've been following Grand Gedeh politics for a very long time now, I have not seen a written legislation authored by a representative or a lawmaker for that matter.
Oh, wow. All right.
This is serious.
That is profound, Mr. Gaye. And so there where you will come in, but because of time, I want to get to you as many questions as possible. I think I like the answer there. The question I'm asking now, when it comes to winning, Mr. Gaye, you have been in the U.S. I'm happy that you acknowledge that coming from the U.S. you have a lot of work to do.
Absolutely.
The question I want to ask though, many in the counties or in any of our elections, right, will win either because of popularity, either because of money, maybe sometimes because of messaging. Can I say in the case of DeLong, or either in the a collaboration? My question is, what will make Anthony Gaye to win? If he is to win, will it be money? Will it be because he's popular? Will it be because of messaging? What will be your strength in winning?
Two things. It will be the messaging and the resources to take that message or those messages to the people. Because the challenges to get around in Grand Gedeh County is not an easy thing. You need to get to every village, every town. I decided to run a very robust, oriented Jehovah's Witness style campaign, door to door. Every village, every town must get to see Anthony Gaye. Not just my picture, not just my voice being heard on radio station, but you must get to see Anthony Gaye in your village, in your town, in your city, in your community. Why? Because I will explain to you better than anybody else who know me. I can tell my dream better than anybody else. Mr. If you have a dream, who can tell that dream better than you?
Well, I would say you, the dreamer.
This is the reason why I need the resources to get to those places. Because without resources, I can't get there. And so, two things.
And do you have that resources, Anthony? Do you have that resources? Or are you sure you're going to get the needed resources to reach to every hamlet in Grand Gedeh County?
We are confident of this. That's why we are in this race. Had it been, we would not be in this race. We will not even waste the people time. Look, Anthony, let me tell you this, my dear brother. Every corner of Liberia, precisely Grand Gedeh County, the frustration of the people is glaring. Every single day I get phone calls, text messages. We are tired of politicians lying to us. We are tired of politicians lying to us.
But you are a politician, Anthony. You've been following politics since age 9, based on what you said. You've been involved. So, in my definition, even though you haven't been involved in national election, but I would think, practically you are a politician because you've been around this terrain for some time. So, how are you different in any way, shape, and form from other politicians that the people don't trust?
Yes, I'm different. I'm different because I'm pragmatic. I'm different because I'm an innovator. I think about the circumstances of the people. Ask the people what they want. What is their condition? What is their concern? What matters to them the most? I don't just assume that, if I buy them back or red, they're going to say, that back or red will finish. But what are you imparting in the mindset of that person? I'm coming with the ability to train young folks to be competitive in this job market. Myself, I am a telecommunication expert. I've been in telecommunication field for 18 years. We're going to train people to be data technician, entry level on job skills that can be practiced in Grand Gedeh, in Monrovia, in any part of the world. Telephony language is a universal language. When you impart that, a key point on my platform is about vocational and recreational center. Why? Not everybody can earn a PhD, but God has given each and every one of us a God-given potential. People have skills. We just have to leverage their skill set, give them the opportunity to strive. You can't shut them down.
Thank you.
If President Doe will not promote soccer in Liberia, we will know the name called Josh Weah today or Salim Sadiba.
Thank you, Mr. Gaye. Folks, if you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. This is the program, The Hour of Politics. We are in an exclusive interview with Mr. Anthony W. Gaye, Senatorial Aspirant for Grand Gedeh County. This interview is also live on Smart FM 98.6 in Grand Gedeh County. The man who is anchoring at that media institution is my man, Samuka Keita. Mr. Keita, prepare your question. I'm coming to you after this question with Mr. Gaye. Mr. Gaye, you supported Thomas Yaya Nimle, and you were more like, I think, the campaign spokesman. Is that correct, sir?
I was the PR person, yes.
You were the PR, a public relations guy. So you were the mouthpiece. You were the face of this man to the people of Grand Gedeh. My understanding is that Mr. Nimle, the diplomat, you call him that time, stay in the race, and you jump in the race. Why are you telling the people of Grand Gedeh that you lied to them, that Thomas Nimle was the real deal? What's happening? What has changed, sir?
Fair question. Fair question. Look, the Honorable Thomas Yaya Nimle have, given his ultimate sacrifice to our county. He have done what many Grand Gedeans are grateful for. A well-accomplished professional. He's a professional and in the field of psychologist. He's a clinical psychologist. He's a man who has worked in the diaspora for many years before leaving from here. Look, I give everything, every ounce of me into that campaign. I supported him 100% without doubt. Yes, I was on the same smart radio. I was on, Tap FM. I was on Flash FM and all other media platforms, even Facebook, campaigning vigorously for him. Unfortunately, we did not win. Why am I in this race this time around? Time have changed, conditions have changed, circumstances have changed, and I believe I present a better case to the plight of the people of Grand Gedeh County at this juncture of our nation than anybody else in this race. I do respect the honorable man, and I will continue to respect him, and my campaign will not be derogatory to him, regardless of the circumstances that we face ourselves in today. Whether he's contesting for the seat that I'm contesting for, that respect will still be there. And so I don't have anything against him. I just think that I present a better alternative to the current circumstances of Liberia, of Grand Gedeh County, than he presents. That's all.
I will go to my man Samka. Mr. Keitad, what's your question for the aspirant, sir?
Okay, Mr. Gaye, now you have declared your intention to contest in the 2023 elections. My question here is, do you have people on ground here who are selling your senatorial ambition to the people of Grand Gedeh? If yes, can you call a few names of people you have here on ground? Because you are based in the U.S. You agree with me that once you declare your intention to contest in the 2023 elections, definitely you must have people on ground here who are selling you positively to the people of Grand Gedeh, your senatorial ambition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My dear friend and brother and longtime friend and classmate and schoolmate and everything, my national campaign chairman is Sipo Godia Zulu. I'm very proud of him. He's a very, well, meticulous person who understands, the dynamics of the county, well respected. He's there. The brain behind my campaign is no other person but Mr. Comite Bawe. Elijah Comite Bawe is the brain behind this campaign. He's the chief strategist and a senior advisor to our campaign. He, a well-accomplished guy, and he understands the circumstances of Liberia. By profession, he's an economist and also a statistician. We bringing on board individual who understands the plight of Grand Gedeh County and who understand the plight of the Liberian people at large. My national coordinator is a young man, very vibrant, very energetic young man called Eddie Memo. He, I don't have a word to describe this young man. This young man is fantastic. It's awesome. Look what he has been able to do in a very short span of time. Reaching out to young folks and bringing people on board and the excitement within our group. And then, of course, my able secretary, who is doing a fantastic job also, Mr. Isaac, Sampson. Very, 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 a down-to-earth person. His attitude alone, it just, it's very, very encouraging. You need people within your orbit who have the temperament to get the job done. Why you're not going to be arguing with people and all of the different things. They understand the dynamic of things. A man like Sifa Zulu, who is very meek, quiet, but very firm when it comes to decision making. It's a man of integrity. Those are the kind of people that I have around me. They are the brain behind this engine that is running. A well-oiled engine that runs very smoothly. We will launch a very robust campaign in Grand Gedeh County, where young people, middle-class age people, older folks will have that sit by this table. Because guess what? Grand Gedeh County deserves better, and our case is different.
Thank you. And Mr. Gaye, you were heavily involved with Honorable Thomas Yaya Nimlen's campaign, and you admitted that he failed. You were unsuccessful as a team. You must have taken stock of what went wrong, what was not done properly. So talk to me from your vantage point. What are those things that contributed to his unsuccess that you have learned and want to turn to a success or as an advantage for you? Quickly.
Some of those things are very strategic. I can't mention them here, and those are the things that are within my sleeve that I will use to my advantage to be able to move my campaign forward to win this election. Okay. Those things are very strategic. They are very technical issues. The man is well accomplished, well educated. He's a clinical psychologist by profession. He served Liberia as a foreign minister. You being the president of the country, outside the country. There's nothing else. His portfolio is large.
All right, Mr. Gaye, you said you're not gonna talk about those things. Hold on, Mr. Gaye. You said you're not going to talk about those things.
For which I'm in this race.
You said you're not going to talk about those things because that will form part of your strategy, and I respect that. So let us make progress. You run it to be senator, Mr. Gaye. As a senator, constitutionally speaking, there are some statutory rules or constitutional responsibilities, right? So because of time, I want you to be as brief as possible. What are the roles, what are the responsibility of a lawmaker, in this case, a senator, and how are you going to effectively execute each of those roles or responsibilities? Quickly.
Yeah, one is representation, oversight, and lawmaking.
Mhm.
But the senator is not just limited to that. The
Mhm.
senator job is also, to form part of various committees, wherein when there is any presidential appointee for any government ministry or any autonomous agencies, you sit in our chamber and sit across the table and vet those candidates properly. Make sure that they are given the job based on merit, not friendship, not family ties, not influenced by anybody. And today, Liberia is facing that deficit of individuals in government positions who are not qualified, like the Assistant Minister of Agriculture. I mean, the list goes on. We can name here today. And you will agree with me that today the rice issue in the country is incompetence reason why we are facing this rice issue. If our staple food is rice, in 1979 we have that ugly crisis that left a scar on Liberia as a nation. Why today we started talking about rice shortage in the country?
And another, you brought the rice issue, Mr. Gaye. You know, I had a question on that, so let me come in with my question. If you were to be senator now, given this historical rice shortage, crisis, whatever you may call it, what will Anthony Gaye be doing now as the senator of Grand Gedeh County to bring this situation to an end once and for all? What will be a good solution?
A very good solution is to invest into agriculture. I have written and still working on this legislation that I have not completed yet called the farmer subsidy. Why? I grew up in Africa. I used to buy and sell cocoa in Africa, and I know what the Ivorian government had done with farmer subsidy. In the great United States, where we found ourselves, there are also farmer subsidies. Why the government are doing it? Have you ever heard America have food problem in this country? In fact, America feed almost every nation on planet except China. Why? Because agriculture is the bedrock of America. Even though America brag about our military, but America is very strong in agriculture. Our nation, Liberia, is blessed with a rainforest. Our rainforest in Liberia can be compared to that of the Amazon in Brazil. Why can we grow our own food? Recent time, 14 million United States dollars was given to the rice importer as a subsidy. Think about this. If half of that 14 million were given to farmers in Liberia to grow food, where will we be today? Will we still be talking about people in a rural community, a rural part of Liberia, talking about rice shortage? We have the resources. We have the natural resources to grow our own food. Our people don't just like to get back to the soil. In the 80s, President Doe have a green revolution, get back to the soil. Even if you go to the University of Liberia and you study forestry and agriculture, guess what? It was free tuition. It was free education. In fact, you don't have to pay any fees. Not like the one we have today, free tuition.
Thank you.
We should not be having rice problem at all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gaye. You know, Mr. Cole Famula is the presenter of Focus on Liberia program, the Liberian History Channel.
Sure.
I read a post from her, and where Cole said that many years ago, Liberia was producing rice, and Liberia was even exporting
rice. Yes.
And I read that, I'm like, really? And how come when we have become this advanced and we can feed ourselves, when we have the equipment, we have the technology, there are more Liberians now compared to the number of Liberians then. But let me progress here. I have a question here, Mr. Gaye. If you are so lucky enough, and when you receive the smile of the people of Grand Gedeh,
absolutely,
you will be sitting. Anthony, as much as I do, that a lawmaker is not a lawmaker just because he is a lawmaker. Sorry, I've been philosophical. What I mean is, if I'm elected, I can't just work by myself. It's an office. That office does not require one man. You need staff to serve you. All right. So to that, I ask this question: should you win, what would be the composition of your office staff in terms of qualification and education. It be to that will you not be, giving your brothers, your sisters, your friends jobs in your office? What kind of people will be occupying the offices, or will we playing roles in your office, please?
Thank you for that great question. 5 professionals that will have in my office. A trained economist will be part of my office staff.
Mm-hmm.
A trained lawyer will be part of my office staff. A healthcare professional, whether a specialized doctor or a general medicine. But I would like epidemiologists to be part of my. I love the public health sector because you must educate the people. Many of the problem we have in the healthcare sector is public health. You got to educate them first. If you don't know washing your hands will take away germs, then you take food you just put your hands in the food and eat without washing your hands, right? So I will have a public health expert in my office. I will have a geologist in my office, even though they are very scarce, scarce right now to find, but I will try, or somewhere in that area. And I will have a civil engineer in my office. The reason why, education.
Hold on, Anthony. These are, you said train, and you're talking about well-educated people. Can you afford to pay a geologist? Will you not be robbing the people of Grand Gedeh?
Listen, let me say this to you.
Uh-huh.
Part of the reason why we're having the trouble we have in Liberia is because we don't invest in the perfection of those people.
Okay.
And we don't do proper look, I can't discuss anything that requires public health when I'm not a public health expert. But I need a public health expert to guide me through my healthcare plan because I have 3 legislation I'm working on: agriculture, healthcare, and the third one has to do with education, right? But I need a healthcare professional who will sit by me and say, listen, I know you want to do this, but medically it's not possible.
But Anthony, I agree, Anthony, hold on. I agree with you hiring a lawyer. You are a lawmaker. You want somebody who will look at all the legal technicalities and advise you so that you can make a presentation on the floor, be able to make an argument from an informed and constitutional perspective. I think you talk about somebody in the area of communication, somebody who will have the patience and the training to read the volumes of concessions agreements, concise is to maybe 2 pages, and then you can be able to get an accurate understanding. But when you're talking geologist, Anthony, I mean, this is a trained person who will be asking you for money. Maybe you should be, having.
So if we can, first of all, there are many well-educated Liberians who are across the globe. They don't necessarily have to be in my office.
All right. So you're talking about consultancy. Somebody who
can hire that consultancy.
Okay.
Right. Because I don't think we have that many geologists in Liberia, but we can hire that consultancy that will inform our decision making. So that the kind of road they build on our road, they don't build those kind of road. A civil engineer, so they can guide us through the process. That we have somebody from Grand Gedeh called Sam Sinto. He's a civil engineer in Sacramento, California. He's currently in that field, right? Listen, Anthony. The problem with Liberia is not reaching out for help.
Anthony, let me hold you there. Will you be needing a geologist? Because in Grand Gedeh, we have a mountain there. My understanding is there's so much resources so that
it is not just Grand Gedeh. It is a country as a whole, right?
Okay.
So listen, I know I will be representing Grand Gedeh County. I don't limit myself to just Grand Gedeh County because if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I also want to sit at the AU Parliament to represent Liberia.
Okay.
Because many of times we saw AU having conferences and the seat to Liberia is empty. We got at least 103 lawmakers, 30 senators, and 3 representatives. Why the seat to AU is empty?
All right. That's a big question there. Mr. Gaye, let's talk about this, right? Which is the issue of popularity. I think we'll talk about that. Let's talk about your plan, which is the big one, right? Do you have your plan ready to go?
Yes.
If you do, what is the name of your plan? And please briefly just give an outline of what's in your plan.
Well, I will give you a 5 points.
Okay.
That 5 points in no particular order.
Okay.
Will be agriculture,
Okay.
healthcare, education,
Mm-hmm.
vocational training and recreational
Mm-hmm.
activities,
Mm-hmm.
technology, the last one.
Okay.
Why technology? I want to begin with technology, the last one first.
Mm-hmm.
My goal here is to launch a technological program across every high school in Grand Gedeh County. Hear me clearly. Every high school in Grand Gedeh County.
Beautiful. And the funding?
The funding,
Mm-hmm.
it will not require much. We're going to launch a Microsoft suite.
Okay.
Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, and Access.
Mm-hmm.
I already have access to those things.
Are you talking about private funding coming to the county with that, or government funding?
So with that first initiative,
Mm-hmm.
I will spearhead it for now, temporarily, until we'll make it a national legislation where the government will invest into technology. But
Okay.
I want Grand Gedeh County to be that model,
Mm-hmm.
where the people of Liberia will understand that technology these days, it is not, optional, right?
So you are saying you will start it as your project.
Correct.
And then you will engage government to see the need to fund it and then replicate it to other
replicate it across the nation. Because here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If every high school student from 10th grade to 12th grade
Mm-hmm.
is proficient, by the time you graduate from high school, you are proficient in Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, and Access.
Mm-hmm.
It is a gateway of job opportunity for you right away. You can be your secretary, you can be a clerk at the court, you can be entry level. You can do an entry level job.
Mm-hmm.
You can even go green.
Mm-hmm.
You can work from home if you have access to internet and computer, and work from home.
All right.
We gotta be creative, and Liberia is not an exemption. How would this will create an opportunity, many opportunities, not just one, for our people. Job opportunity.
And will you be starting this program? Will you be starting this program in Zwedru or in your district? And tell me, how is this going to start with the schools? How are you going to start it? Who all will be involved here?
So I'm starting with all government-run high school.
Okay.
Zwedru Motulacho is one of those high schools.
Mm-hmm.
Matilo Wasin is one of those high schools. We're going to launch that day, so that every high school student, by the time you graduate from high school, you are computer illiterate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are computer literate, and you understand those Microsoft suite. Every word in the word, you will have to use Microsoft.
All right, that's a brilliant idea. Because of time, we will see if we can bring you in sometime to just talk about your plan specifically. We want to cover as many grants as possible. I'm glad that you have a plan for the people of Grand Gedeh County. Something important here. Anthony and I will get to my man Samuka here to chime in with his questions. So Samuka, get ready there. Give me some bitter ball for your. Let's talk about oversight, Anthony. That is key, right? That is one of the key roles that you will be playing, oversight as a lawmaker. One thing that comes to mind, though, county development funds. And if I may ask, social development funds, the history. This thing has been abused by lawmakers. Corruption has been, the center of it all. Talk to me, how will Anthony Gaye provide or apply his oversight so as to minimize the corruption for the funds to really meet the needs of the people of Grand Gedeh County? How will you do it, sir?
Sadly enough, Grand Gedeh County have been victimized when it comes to county development funds.
Mm-hmm.
The money used to come, and then they reduce the money, and then they stop giving the money. And up to this point, Grand Gedeh County have now received county development from, I think, for almost 2 years now, if I'm not mistaken. And I have not seen outrage from our lawmakers.
Mm-hmm.
That is concerning. You're a lawmaker for a reason. You're not there just to collect salary. You are there to represent the people in the best interest of the people. Look, Anthony, you agree with me. Our lawmaker just signed a pension bill that they don't contribute to. The money that's supposed to be going to our people, going to a pension. You agree with me that our same lawmaker, including the one from Grand Gedeh County, signed the Itu and Iboma loan, a bogus loan that we all spoke against, in 48 hours. How can you do those things to your people? Anthony, I can assure you, if God favors me and I'm elected senator of Grand Gedeh County, I would not affix my signature on anything that would not bring a relief to the people of Grand Gedeh County and the people of Liberia at large.
All right. Accessibility fees and special sitting fees, usually when the president has, some key things to take care of. In the case of the appointment of the Chief Justice, the president called a special session. I think they needed to do something on the census thing also, right? So they were called, and by law, when the president calls, the lawmakers have to get some fees to do their job they were elected to do, in addition to whatever they are receiving. So talking about accessibility fees, these are budgetarily legal or constitutionally legal. The question is, will Anthony Gaye take any such fees to do his job for his people of Grand Gedeh?
Mr. Sia, the answer is no. Yes, why? I will not affix my signature just because the president said. Before I vote or confirm any nominee from the president, I will do due diligence to the record, public record of that individual.
Mm-hmm.
I will take my time to read the historicity of that person's career, how they got to where they got, and how they were able to do as well, especially when it comes to somebody sitting on a bench. It's a lifetime appointment. Mm-hmm. It is not a joking thing. And so, for us, we are coming to this thing because it's a call to duty. I'm not looking for fame. I was 8 years old in Grand Gedeh County. I became a child celebrity for JC Body, or school, or government school that didn't have no recognition in the county. The following year, JC Body was the talk of the time, and the school was overcrowded. We are not here for name recognition. We are here to serve. When I served Grand Gedeh Association, I was not serving for name recognition. I came in when our union were having a problem, and we made it known to the people that the convention wasn't going to be canceled. We will have a convention and we'll have a sitting president. And we did just that. It's that same mentality I'm taking to Liberia.
All right.
We're not just going there to sign any documents. We're going there so our people, look at you and I talking about rights issue in Liberia. Should we be talking about it? Should our lawmaker or our government be giving foreigners? I'm a nationalistic person, and I'm bringing a strictly nationalistic approach to everything. I'm a nationalist. Liberia first. Liberian first. And so everything we do, Grand Gedeh first, my people first, Liberia first, everything is for our country. I'm sick or tired looking at our neighboring country moving ahead, and we are not moving ahead. Sadly enough, Grand Gedeh County joined Liberia in 1964 with 3 other counties, Nima, Bon, and Lofa. Today, Grand Gedeh County is left behind.
Thank you, Mr. Gaye. And folks, if you are watching us, this is Focus on Liberia, your favorite program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony C.A. In studio with me is Anthony Gaye, Senatorial Aspirant for Grand Gedeh County, and also with me in control at Radio 98.6 FM there, Smart, is Samonka Keita. Mr. Keita, I'm back with you yet. I hope our people are following Grand Gedeh, and what question you have for Anthony, please.
Okay, my final question here, Mr. Anthony P., and to senatorial hopeful Anthony W. Gaye, as son of Cornable. is that if he's been vetted and meet all of the requirements by the National Elections Commission, he will be going against famous names like the incumbent Senator A. Marshall Bennett, who is recontesting 2023. And then we hear news about Representative Ellis Chesiagren contesting as Senator come 2023. And then Thomas Nimeyaya, who is not a stranger in Grand politics. He contested several times and lost. Who Anthony Gaye once supported, he just admitted it. Don't you think there is a break of trust right there? You once supported Thomas Nimeyaya, you'll be facing him 2023. What makes you think you are more qualified than the names I just mentioned, the individuals I just said, the three presidents?
Great question. Action speaks louder than word. We look at the record of individual when they serve and when they're currently serving. Let's begin with the incumbent senator, Honorable Marshall Dennis. He has been senator for 8 years. And we've been following very closely what are his legislative accomplishments and how has it impacted the livelihood of the people of Grand Gedeh County and Liberia at large. Here is a man who sits as the chairman on banking and currency. We'll have the circumstances of the 16 billion disappearing, the 25 million mobile SSR going south, and printing of 4 billion that were brought to the country, and at a certain point they could not account for the remaining half of the 4 billion. Then another 48 billion at the price tag of 30 million United States dollars to print 48 billion Liberian banknotes. We have so many issues confronting our people in Grand Gedeh County. And where is Senator Marshall Dennis today? So his record speaks for itself. He will be able to defend his own record. We will go after his record, not him personally. I will not attack any individual in this race personally, but we will make reference to that record. Honorable Yahya Nimland also had the opportunity to serve as a foreign minister of Liberia. Can we say he did his part, but a lot of things he could have done better at that time? And I supported him 2020, and I'm not denying, and I'm proud that I supported him at the time. I thought the time was right for him, but there were some missteps, and those missteps is that what influenced my decision to run, because those missteps, we are in this race now to correct those missteps, because we bring a different dynamics to the Grand Gedeh politics and politics in Liberia as a whole. We bring a different kind of approach to the circumstances of the people of Liberia. Look, just running for office and just wanting to be on the ballot is not why I'm in this race. I'm in this race because our case is different. We present a different case, different dimension.
Okay, if I may follow up though, if I may follow up on Keita's brilliant question there. These are heavy names, and these names I would say are more like in Liberia.
Yes,
you are outside of Liberia.
Absolutely.
Doesn't the fact that you live outside of Liberia and you have been outside of Liberia is a disadvantage for you, and they being on the ground an advantage for them? If you agree that you are at a disadvantage, how do you work around that to net the seat that you are contesting for, or you will be contesting for?
Brilliant. Let me say this. This race is an open race. It's an open race to anybody. Why? Because there is a city senator today who is struggling to even get his campaign going. There is a man who ran 3 times and coming back for the 4th time. And last election record shows, look at the number he put up. Statistically, it shows that he's not doing something right. Because you ran the first time, you ran the second time, you ran the 3rd time, and the number is showing that you're not doing something right. I'm young. I relate to the vast majority of the people of Grand Gedeh County. Our once a Shushan ball.
Don't you being young will work against you because there's this tradition that senator for the adults, Anthony Gaye's a young boy coming up. Don't you think that will work against you?
Great follow-up question. The age, the wisdom of Solomon has nothing to do with the age of Methuselah.
Okay.
I come with wisdom. I'm a solution-driven young man. I just gave you a little synopsis of what I would do. Launching technology, every high school student will be proficient. This guy been running and never talk about it. I can tell you, every student in Grand Gedeh County embrace this thing. I'm about to do something in December, and I'm not going to announce it here. That is something that will also shake Grand Gedeh County and shake Liberia as life. It had never been done in the entire Liberia, and this is going to be the first of its kind. And we're using Grand Gedeh County as a model. Like I said earlier, we will use Grand Gedeh County as a model by which many counties and even the country Liberia will follow. And so all of those excuses will put aside. In December, we will launch that project, and it will blow people's mind.
Thank you. And Anthony, you, when elected, will be responsible to uphold constitutional mandates as a lawmaker. Few of them come to mind. Absentee voting is constitutional. It has been blatantly violated by all our lawmakers and all our governments. The issue of census has been violated, in my opinion, even though the legislature will make adjustment to make it constitutional, but that is a failure on the part of our government, lawmakers included. Teaching the Constitution of Liberia is a constitutional mandate that lawmakers who represent the people should be upholding, that their citizens will know their rights and the laws of Liberia. They have failed. Talk to me, Anthony, on these three. What will you do differently that all of the, how many senators we have? 30 of them, they have failed over the years on all of these constitutional mandates that I just named. How will Anthony be of any help? Who will be one man in the room? Talk to me.
Our people say one man kill the elephant and the whole time eat it, right?
It's said traditionally, but it's a practical. Let's hear you.
Politics is a calculated risk.
Okay.
It is the risk I'm prepared to take. Mm-hmm. And it is that risk I'm prepared to take as far as the Capitol building. Mm-hmm. It's like you were reading my mind. I wrote down here census. I want to encourage every person from Grand Gedeh County who is not currently in Grand Gedeh, but you across the nation, like there, in Monrovia, in other parts of the country, go back home, do the census. What a census would do redistricting of the electoral districts. Mm-hmm. And we want to add at least one or two more districts to Grand Gedeh County. Mm-hmm. If you don't go for the census, you will do yourself a disservice. That also determines how much money the government can allocate to your district or your county. Mm-hmm. I want to encourage every Grand Gedeh or every inhabitants. You don't necessarily have to be a Grand Gedeh, but inhabitants of Grand Gedeh County who live in Grand Gedeh County, go back and register in Grand Gedeh County so that we can have the total number of the people and the government can redistribute the districts and allocate funds that you're so deserving. Second thing here is that, listen, we in the diaspora have been overlooked. I've been taken for granted. I am the one who will be that ambassador of change to represent the diaspora absentee voting thing. Let me put the pen down. Sorry for the pen. Mm-hmm. But what does that mean? When it comes to graduation school fees and birthdays, funeral services, our phones are ranking off the chart. But electoral participation, we are put behind the back. And
are we actually put behind, or we are putting ourselves, or we are not seizing the moment or opportunity here?
You and I can speak of those things. If the lawmakers do not add those things in the law and make it permanent, we will not have it.
It's constitutional. It's just about implementation, Anthony.
Yes. No, for the absentee voting, it's not a law. But the census is a law.
It's a law, Anthony. It's a law. It's constitutional. I can read that to you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I misspoke. I also checked on that. It is a law. But here's the thing. Those things will only happen for those people. We've been saying it, but the people in the House of Legislation have to, put it, especially the executive branch, have to implement that. Mm-hmm. But here's the fear. You saw the new bill that was passed, the dual citizenship bill that was passed.
But before we get to the dual citizenship bill, Lord Anthony, this assertive voting is key. You are a member of diaspora, so you know how powerful and how
we all want to vote, but
right?
and
Yeah, that's what I'm bringing this. The National Election Commission just released a timetable for voter registration.
yes.
It did not make any provision for the diaspora. If you were a lawmaker right now, what would you be doing?
So you just, that was going to be fun part of my closing.
Okay.
But you just spoke on something that I so dearly concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
I know the voting time right now in allocated Grand Gedeh County, I think February 25th to March 17th, that's the time for voter registration in Grand Gedeh County. Mm-hmm. And other county, most around other people will get different dates. However, the reason why they don't want we, the diaspora Liberian, to participate, they know our voting will not be based on our belly. It will not be based on our living condition. It will be based on merit. Many people in Liberia claim that they want competition, but they don't really want competition because they feel as though they can't compete with the diaspora Liberian. That is not true. You can compete. Don't limit yourself. The only thing is open a level playing field for everyone to have the opportunity to choose his or her candidate.
I see it the other way around. I think it's us, the diaspora, who are reluctant of participating. For example, it is constitutional that
where do we participate?
Liberian citizens outside of Liberia should register and vote. It is by law. Now, the National Election Commission technically excludes any provision for our registration. You think, are we not the one who's supposed to demand that? Are they supposed to come and give it to us? Obama said, if you want a better future, you have to fight for it. I think we are the problem. We are not competing, and not the people on the ground. Your take.
We talked about it, but you have to have a venue where you go. I went to the Liberian embassy. I spoke to Ambassador George talking about this same. I'm thinking like
the fire ambassador.
Huh?
The fire ambassador.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I already spoke about the passport issue because I have a serious issue with the passport thing. I went to Liberia with my receipt for the embassy, and the people said my passport was not at the foreign ministry. In fact, it was not even in the system. After 3 days, a gentleman took my passport from your pocket and handed it out to me. Right? Wow. I brought that to your attention. That's when he gave me his business card at the time and said, "Oh, anything like that, call me direct." I'm like, calling you will not be solving the problem. You need to fix the problem instead of us calling you. You will not be able to answer my call the time I really need you. Right? We had that conversation.
But I can say they never answer call.
They don't have a place where you and I can go and register. So it puts us at a disadvantage. The representation of Liberia here in the United States, when you reach out to them, they don't do anything that much. I just gave you the instance with the ambassador.
Anthony, that's a campaign that maybe we the diaspora we need to fight for what is our right here, right? Unfortunately, we have to fight our rights as well. But the issue of the constitutional mandate, teaching the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia to every citizen in the length and breadth of our country, you will become senator if you are lucky enough. What will you do should the country Liberia or the government of Liberia fail? What will you do as an individual senator or lawmaker?
Every school in Grand Gedeh should have civics in their curriculum. Every school in Liberia should have civics in their curriculum. Look, it is a constitutional mandate. The Constitution spells it out that the citizens should know their Constitution. We should have community programs where people understand in different vernacular to tell the people that basic right. You don't have to be a lawyer to understand your rights as a citizen. And I mean, this is something that is serious, and that people are ignoring this particular thing. We will not ignore that. If God bless us to be senator of Grand Gedeh County representing our people at the Capitol building, we would definitely take on those things. Listen, there are so many things we will take on. And I cannot tell you for a fact, but the key here is that winning this election first. Access to power is the only way you can affect change. We can say all of the good things, all of the good ideas. I can go on and on today. If we don't have access to the power, we will not affect change. And that's what I'm encouraging our Grand Gedeans or citizens of Grand Gedeh County or inhabitants of Grand Gedeh County. You don't necessarily have to be a Grand Gedean to go back and do the census, because it's very important so that it can help the county and the country at large.
All right, Anthony, time is fast spent. we want to come in with our final issue here, which is about your political party and your political leader. The Alternative National Congress came out with a list they call Team Cummings / the Real Change Team. We are told that we can't be doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. You saw the list, I will believe. What is your take? What do you make of the names that Liberians are frustrated about?
I think it's a brilliant list. I just make a comment just now. In order to effect change, you must have access to power. This is not Mr. Cummings' cabinet. This is a campaign team, a strategic group of people put together to win the campaign. Those people are not going to be running government ministries. Those people are put into place to get the job done. And Mr. CA, you got to be strategic as a politician to move from one stage to another. If not, you will be caught up in the midst. So I hear people critiquing Mr. Cummings. Oh, you say you can do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. But look at your team. Is this the cabinet that will represent the government of Liberia? The answer is no.
And how do you know that? Because what you are telling me is Louis Brown, who campaigned in every election and landed a job, this time will not get a job. That's the argument you are making. You are also
I didn't say that.
Hold on, Mr.
I didn't
Gaye.
say that. I'm saying this.
How will he not make the cabinet? Because that's what I'm hearing from you.
Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
The last point I have to make is that each ship has a captain, and this captain of this ship is Alexander Benedict Cummings. He's the one that is calling the shots. And if you don't know Mr. Cummings, let me tell you a little bit about him.
No. I don't want to go there. I don't want us to go there. I want us to stick to the list.
No, hold on.
I'm saying to you, these individuals that Cummings have selected. Hold on, Mr. Gaye. These individuals that come in, some of the individuals are on the list. Liberians are crying about these people. Liberians are complaining because of their role in the past, in past governments, in past warring factions. All right. And let's look at that, contrast it with this. When Alva Tuba quoted in a book that he co-authored something the public cried about, or was an outcry, Mr. Cummings acted. Is he going to act this time? Because there's an outcry. In fact, this one is bigger. This one impacts other people psychologically. They are Liberians who are impacted by the role played by some of the characters that are on the list. Is Mr. Cummings being insensitive here? He was sensitive to Liberians when there was an outcry about the list, about a book, about a quote. So why not this time? And you say this is a brilliant list?
Let me say this to you, Mr. Asunis here. I think I came on your show one time when you responded to Mr. Cummings' press conference, interview, and you described it as disaster. Remember, I came on the show, we had a conversation. Mm-hmm. The reason why I believe that Mr. Cummings will do a better job in Liberia is simple. This team, when we win the election, Mr. Cummings is a very contagious leader. What do I mean by that? Because of the way he leads, people don't do things and go scot-free around him. He would not, Mr. Cummings will rather set example on people within his orbit than to set example as well.
But let him set the example, not just like he set the example.
But that is a campaign team.
So Ava was a staff and he took action. So he does not take action on campaign team when the public, when the voters are saying we disagree. And how will he then listen to the people when he becomes president, when he becomes that imperial president?
No, but this campaign team, they only afraid of the name. Ava wrote something very explicit about the president's wife in a book.
Which one is bad in your opinion, or which one is worse? To put it right.
Let me say this: these very same people are
one lost on the list.
Hold on.
And somebody quoting somebody in the book. Which one you think is bad?
This man that or the very few people that are complaining about, they have worked in past government.
You want to answer my question? The book and a list of individuals who participated in war. Which one you think affects anybody psychologically?
Mr. Solicitor, we should not be cherry picking circumstances. We have Prince Johnson who slaughtered people publicly, and
The
it's
very
a
Prince Johnson Cummings will give 55,000, right? So how is that different?
Let me say this to you. Cummings did not get the money to Prince Johnson to put in a pocket. Cummings invested in education.
And you think Cummings demanded accountability, whether or not that? Who dare ask Prince Johnson how he spends money? Who dare ask him?
First of all, you got to understand the man called Cummings first. Mr. Cummings does not
understanding the man now. The man Cummings is he's appointing people on a campaign team that Liberians have issues with. I understand the man now.
Okay, Mr. C. I think you need to do me justice when you ask a question.
Give
me a moment to answer.
Go ahead.
I know you're excited. I know you're fired up.
Go ahead.
That's good.
Go ahead.
Myself, I can get at that too. But here's the thing. Let's have this conversation so the listening audience or the view audience can also get a clear understanding here. And I can tell you for a fact, this is a strategic campaign team. And the Liberian people need to accept this team. Listen, you cannot appoint everyone that people agree with. Our goal here.
Why do we need to accept this? Why do we need to accept it because it comes from Cummings?
No.
What is the reason?
No, we have to accept it because those individuals, until we can bring the war and economics chronicle to Liberia, there's nothing you can do about what has transpired.
So how is that different from Joshua, who being accused of having some rebel generals in his government? For example, someone who played a role in the government, I mean, in the war. What's his name? Eugene Namwe. He was a fighter. I know that for a fact. He is in we are government. How is that different from what Cummings is doing? Is that the new standard now? The Jawia playbook?
We are in a country where 75% of the country is toxic. So
I don't think 75% of the country are warlords. I don't think. I mean, it's warlords.
No. 75% of the individual in Liberia has a attachment to some kind of warring faction or activity that have done in the past. The only way we can affect change is when we have access to power. Then we can affect the change. If we continue this way we're going, we cannot affect change. So Mr. Cummings going to put a team together to win to carry on the campaign. If we win, and you see those same people in key positions, then you can have a point.
Earlier, you said that these people are not the cabinet.
It's not Mr. Cummings' cabinet. You know it's not his cabinet. It's a campaign team.
So Mr. Cummings' goal here is to use these people to get power and dump them, right? And will not give them job, right?
I didn't tell you that.
So what you are saying, that is not a cabinet. In essence, you are saying his cabinet.
But this campaign team is not a cabinet.
His cabinet would be different. So let us take this. That's part of the question.
The cabinet will be different, yes.
And will not include any of these people?
Mr. Cummings had to make that decision, but this is not a cabinet. I can tell you for a fact.
Well, there's a saying in Liberia, when the Christmas would be good, you can tell from the eve. If he trusts these people enough to be the face of Alice Cummings during campaign, those people can well be his face in his government. We are did it. Ellen did it. He would do it because he thinks it is good for Liberia.
What we really need today, right? Let me say this. What we really need today is to be able to put an individual, because Liberia problem is lack thereof of leadership. We do not have good leadership.
And leadership is saying no to individuals with questionable characters who names terrifies others. You need to
the only way we can get those things happen. Impunity today is a way of life. You agree with me?
All right.
Right? Until we can have access to power, we cannot affect change.
Thank you. Time is fast spent. I think I would say you interview very well. You were articulate. You express yourself. I hope the people of Grand Gedeh smile with you, despite of what I know will be a challenge to run for office. It's not something small. More so, if you want to canvass in an entire county, and when resources are scarce, when the people are hungry, when the county is not accessible as you would want to. So I can imagine the challenges you would be dealing with. Let us hear your closing statement, but let me check with my man Samuka here at 98.6 FM there in Grand Gedeh County. Mr. Keita, any final question before the aspirant can give his closing statement or speak in the camera to the people of Grand Gedeh? Quickly.
Okay, nothing much, just to because we have like out of town, we are pressed of time here. We'll have other programs coming up.
Exactly.
Let him just give his passing comment and then we wrap up.
All right, Mr. Gaye, that is excellent enough because of time. Look in the camera, speak to the people of Grand Gedeh. Don't forget my grand crew. Maybe when small little water dries, you get there. Well, go ahead. Just kidding.
Hey, it is an honor and pleasure to be on this platform, more especially to speak to the people of Grand Gedeh directly via Smart FM Radio 98.6 megahertz. I want to say something shortly in my vernacular. I talk we are now more we can more Gaye Mauro Newo Bade Kulago. I'm a do you know Mabo blow you or the wood by the king dot tell ye more would get more. They got dinner pa blow became more. Chair a blow like Jacko clear ye no a blow. And they go buzu, quande one or over kidding no they no kidding nada more sender okay. I'm a new what they what tie okay. Jack can't yak like was is Yako. Jelofaya, Jenimaya, Debonia, Eclair, 1964, Paul Grand Gedeh in no county that lado. A bureaucrat level no county Usiacleo, kidding on them no kill. I want to say thank you for the opportunity. I spoke my dialect because I want people to understand, not because I stay in the diaspora, I don't speak my dialect. But I want people to understand that this election about Grand Gedeh County is about the call to duty. It's not about being popular. It's not about name recognition or guinea fame. It's about the well-being of our county. Grand Gedeh County deserves better, and our case is different. We are here to make the case for Grand Gedeh County because our people deserve better. Good quality education, quality healthcare, agriculture should be the foundation. And we want to make the southeastern region, Grand Gedeh County, the capital, the political capital. The economic capital of the southeastern region. And what do I mean about economic capital of the southeastern region? Back in the days, Zwaju was the hub of education. Zwaju was the hub of economics. Zwaju was everything for the southeastern region. Today, we are left behind. We're left behind because of lack thereof of leadership. We do not have leaders. We have people occupying the seats. And I mean this. We have people occupying the seats. We need you to come together. Put aside partisanship. Put Grand Gedeh County first. Forget about my political party. Forget about who I affiliate with politically. See Grand Gedeh County above it all. I'm speaking directly to every Grand Gedeh and every inhabitant of Grand Gedeh County. You may not necessarily be a crown person, but you chose Grand Gedeh County as your hometown. Take keynote, listen, and pay attention to this 2023 election. I am a senatorial aspirant of Grand Gedeh County, and I'm seeking to be a senator of Grand Gedeh County to represent every person in Grand Gedeh County. Whether you are Fulani from Guinea, Mali, or any part of Africa, and you migrated to Liberia, whether you are a Mandingo person who is originally from Guinea, or a Mandingo from Lofa County or Nima County who settled in Grand Gedeh. Whether you are Nimbai, you are Pele Batra, or you are a Crew person, or Griville, a brother from the neighboring county, River G, and residing in Grand Gedeh County, each one of you is important. We come to this fight because we understand what it is. Our nation and our country have been struggling for a very long time. But there is no excuse now. We have the natural resources, but not just natural resources. We are living in a technological world where digital age have taken over everything. Liberia is behind technologically by 25 to 40 years, if I'm not mistaken. But we can do same here. We can encourage you that you are not also different from those people who are technologically savvy. The opportunity was not given you. We come to this flight to provide the necessary opportunity for every person to succeed in Grand Gedeh County. I leave you with this. Think about it. The sun that shines in Ivory Coast is the same sun that shines in Grand Gedeh County. The rain that falls in Ivory Coast is the same rain that falls in Liberia. Why is it Africa national budget is 17.6 billion United States dollars, and 65% of the national revenue is agriculture? We can do same. Liberia possesses up to 46% of the rainforest in West Africa. We need to grow our own food. We should not be buying pepper, planting cassava, yam in Africa. We can grow those things in Grand Gedeh County. And I want to be that champion and your ambassador of change because our case is different. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And that will do it from us here at Focus on Liberia. We want to say thank you for honoring our invitation. Thanks to those who listened, who commented. We read your comments, but not on the screen to you. We also want to say a big thank you to Smart FM 98.6 with our man, Samuka Keita, who anchored there. All from me here at Focus on Liberia, Anthony C. I want to say to you all, thank you for watching. And Smart FM is also saying to you, thank you for watching. To the people of Grand Gedeh, bye-bye.
We are